Welcome back to Grade 8 Geography, Unit Number 1, Global Settlement, Patterns, and Sustainability. This is Lesson Number 7. What are today's settlement trends? Before we start today's lesson, let's consider the following. Why are so many people moving from one part of the world to another? How is this affecting the populations of rural and urban areas? You may want to pause the video here, take a few moments to consider your answer to these questions, because of course we will be discussing these at the start of tomorrow's class. So put the video on pause to formulate your answer, and then when you're done, hit the play button. Today, there is more migration of people from one part of the world to another than ever before. In 2013, there were 232 million migrants worldwide. That number is expected to jump to 405 million by 2050, and you can see rather, from this world map, the incredible flow of people from one part of the world to another. It's not all just to one or two continents. It's happening everywhere. Migration is caused by push and pull factors. Pull factors are things that attract people to a new country. Examples of pull factors include better jobs and safer communities. Push factors are things that make people want to move out of their countries. Examples of push factors include poverty and religious persecution. And I suggest you put the video on pause so that you can read this list of push factors and pull factors. After you've read through them, you can hit play. In 2013, over 25% of the most educated people from Central America and Africa had moved to another country. Even though they were highly educated and highly skilled, they left to find better opportunities elsewhere. Many of these migrants felt that their governments treated people unfairly. As you can see from this picture, these Guinean protesters were marching to voice their anger with the government's racist policies, and no doubt a number of the people in this picture eventually got so frustrated that they chose to move elsewhere. Another major settlement trend today is the high number of people moving from a rural area to an urban area. This movement of people from rural areas to urban areas is known as urbanization. Urbanization happens even in developed countries. Countries that are wealthy have a high level of technology and higher life expectancy, such as Canada. In developing countries, an even higher number of people are moving from rural to urban areas. Developing countries are less wealthy and have lower levels of technology and education. Urbanization in developing countries is higher because people are moving to cities in search of clean water, electricity, and better opportunities to get a high paying job. It's no surprise then that urban populations are increasing worldwide. This trend is expected to continue. The UN predicts that 67% of the world's population will live in cities and towns by 2050. Cities are trying to handle their increasing populations by expanding and merging with smaller cities and towns. Toronto is an example of a megacity, a city that has more than 10 million people. It should also be no surprise that rural populations are decreasing. By 2050, there could be as little as 23% of the world's population living on farms and in villages and hamlets. You can see the example of the United States alone, looking at the uh, rural urban split in 1920 and looking at how it's increased so much over an 80-year time span. Most cities grow by expanding outward. They grow this way because the land in the center of cities is already filled. This land is also very expensive. Land that is located on the outskirts of the city is often agricultural, forested, and is much less expensive for developers to buy. The growth of cities into undeveloped areas is known as urban sprawl. Urban sprawl has led to the creation of suburbs, settlements that consist mainly of single-family houses and are located near a larger urban area. Many people choose to live in the suburbs because the houses are cheaper. Also, suburban communities tend to be cleaner, quieter, and safer. Just to point out uh, what urban sprawl looks like. This image of Melbourne, Australia shows suburban settlements in the foreground with the urban core, which was built up decades earlier, in the background. Some cities grow in population but are not expanding in size. Instead of expanding outward, these cities are becoming compact. This means that houses and smaller apartment buildings are being replaced by high-rise condominiums. The people who live in compact cities also work here. This is just one concept sketch uh, for one future compact city, and this actually could become uh, the norm or what's expected as the years pass by. Settlement along coasts is becoming increasingly popular. The number of people living along coastlines is expected to increase by 30% by 2025. Some coastal cities cannot grow inland due to a lack of land or obstacles such as mountains. To make up for this, some coastal cities are actually expanding into bodies of water. They can do this by reclaiming land from the water and by creating new islands. No, this is not a painting. The Palm Islands in Dubai are the largest artificial islands in the world. Environmentalists are concerned by the expansion of coastal cities into the water. Expansion into the seas can damage sand dunes and other marine ecosystems. Land reclamation in Hong Kong is threatening the habitat of the Chinese white dolphin. Sadly, there are only 61 white dolphins left. Okay, so just to conclude today's lesson, we have this uh, fill in the blank type exercise. So you will put the video on pause so that you can determine the missing words in each sentence. If you don't feel confident in doing this activity right away, then I want you to go back and watch the video at least 2 more times. And then when you're ready, you will put the video on pause, try out this activity, and of course we will take this up in class tomorrow. But until then, this concludes today's video.